Welcome to the Luke and Pete Show. Pete Donaldson with you, John by Mr. Lukey Moore. Lukey Moore, we are recording on a day where the rumours are still circling about Chelsea signing some old men. Why is this happening? I realise this isn't the football ramble, but do you think men who played well into their 35th, 36th year, like Xabi Alonso, do they just sort of trust older players? I think they just see a little bit of themselves in them.
I think it's because Chelsea have spent so much time signing young players. They're like, oh, fucking hell, we need some experience. So Welbeck and Henderson.
We need some experience, yeah.
Who probably, Welbeck and Henderson would have played together at Sunderland, I think, as well, which is quite interesting.
Oh, nice. I like it. Yeah, nice link up there.
But I saw Levi Colwood have a brilliant dig at Enzo Maresca in a press conference yesterday.
What did he say?
He was like, I can't remember, but the usual shit that like players say when they want to be in the team with a new manager. Like, training's like so much fun now.
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of shit. I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like that.
Oh, that shit, yeah. Love that. Yeah. Big fan of that.
But I mean,
you've got with your boss, it's brown nosing is underrated. It's really useful.
I would always, when I had a proper job, I would always, if it was a job I cared about, I would always respond best to people who just let me get on with it because I felt like I knew what I was doing. And I would always just take some time to find out what my boss was kind of into and to pretend to be interested in it.
Yeah.
Almost like a substitute teacher type thing.
Yeah. Look, it's just sensible. It's taking care of business.
You never had a proper job, have
you? We had a boss at Absolute, pretty much.
What were you like with the boss at Absolute? What were you like at the boss at... You got fired from XFM, didn't you?
I wasn't at XFM, and I left XFM under my own volition.
I thought you got fired because of the Alex Zane thing.
No, I wasn't involved in that actually. I was
the Hobgoblin
on holiday. The Hobgoblin. I wasn't the Hobgoblin. No. Oh no, they got rid of the little assistants, the little kind of sidekicks on the breakfast show because of the Hobgoblin thing. But they moved me to a.
You moved to a different job.
Sure.
And what about Absolute Radio? Did they mind that you kept breaking the no repeat guarantee or?
I think they were. I think. The amount of free interviews I did. I actually found a little... It's actually on this. I found in an old pair of trousers this little... I don't know what you call these. It was a compact flash card. It's 4 gigabytes of data. And it's chunky. It's bigger than an SD card. But you'd used to turn up at the Soho Hotel or wherever you're doing the interviews with the Hollywood lot. The Hollywood set, and they'd give you they'd record your interview, and then they'd give you 2 of these, one for your camera and one for the actor that you're interviewing. And this is a video of me, but just me, interviewing Keanu Reeves. So I don't know where the Keanu Reeves side of the conversation is.
Because that's the main bit, isn't it?
So it's just me sitting down in a needlessly
it's like asking
coat.
for a steak and just being given a big strip of fat.
Yeah, well, I'd like that to be honest.
Well, you'd like to eat that.
Some people like the Pete Donaldson of the affair, but it's 4 gigabytes of me talking to.
You basically collected a load of these memory cards, and you could just wipe them and use them for your own personal.
Yeah, you got to give it. Yeah, I mean they're not great. They're a bit slow, and they're not your common or garden SD cards. So they're not really that.
But
useful,
memory's at a premium these days, isn't it?
I reckon they're probably worth more than you think.
Yeah.
It's very hard to buy anything with memory.
Do you remember that story of the... I don't know how true it is. I mean, I presume it is true, but there's the story of a load of kind of Russian operatives just chucking USB sticks all over the place in the UK.
Oh, yeah. No, you just find them and use them, and
people
then you're
just
in
find
people's
them and
networks
they get onto networks and stuff.
Absolutely wild. Whenever anybody from like the Chinese, the Chinese government or any civil servant from China or Russia, when they would walk around the, they get a tour of the House of Lords or whatever, there would be a sweep right afterwards, following and checking every little sort of like power supply thing.
Mate, I know, and I'll tell you the story. I might have told you before, but a friend of mine, good friend of mine, in fact, they are responsible for the facilities, as in they run the building of a couple of buildings in an important part of central London politically. Got to be careful how I say this.
Yeah,
and they were doing a check at the end of the day of the buildings and stuff, and they found a Chinese national mucking around with one of the servers in in the building, and they had to basically invoke this kind of protocol and
just shut everything down.
Yeah, lock the building down, get people out, and the person was arrested. And they were basically posing as some kind of like business exchange person.
Right. Yeah. You gotta be careful. Like, you don't know where people are come from, and it's getting increasingly harder to. I mean, there's a lot of like there's a lot of North Korean programmers who come over. They get jobs with AI companies and stuff, and they're just installing whatever they fancy or working at. But the people who have these companies, these Silicon Valley executives, don't want them to leave because they're quite good programmers. Yeah. They're like, oh, they're a spy, but but they're so good at their job.
Yeah, great
it's
work,
so annoying.
Great
Did you?
workers.
Speaking of,
I told you I always invoke this, but like it always really reminds me of that scene in This Country, that episode of This Country where it's obviously based out in Gloucestershire, and one of them's dad is he kind of trails throughout the episode the fact that he's got a really good story about Fred West. And the punchline is just that it turns out that he thought Fred West was just a really good builder. Best in the West, we call him. And he'd say, "Stop it, Martin." That's a story. And he goes out like, I know he's done some dodgy stuff, but he was the best. He was brilliant.
Brilliant.
But on that Chinese thing, by the way, remember that story of like a few years ago when the UK, I can't remember who it was now, the government minister for this particular thing, the security minister or whatever, had to come out and say that there's been a load of unofficial Chinese police stations found in like London.
Oh yeah. What as in what policing? What policing the Chinese community or just policing?
Well, so it would be like they would. I guess they would. I don't really know what they were using them for. But I don't think it's been published. But like the guy had to come out and say that they've closed them down now, and like there's no evidence of any wrongdoing. It's basically just smacks of like them just internally saying to China, "Can you fucking stop doing this?"
Can you stop doing it? But what's the police station? It's just kind of like what, like Chinese. What are they? What? So, but are they surveilling their own people effectively because they like to do that? I
think the Chinese government line is that they open centres. They call them like whatever it is, like citizen centres for Chinese nationals in the UK,
right? And it's just an extension of their Communist Party,
quote unquote, run by volunteers to help Chinese nationals like renew documents and do visas and stuff like that. But this talk of people just can't go in them unless they're types of people. It's just fucking weird.
It's wild, isn't it? Yeah. And all of the right wingers are worried about Sharia law. Literally, fucking police stations.
Well, and what's completely what's totally like Orwellian doublespeak about it is a lot of those guys who complain all the time about Sharia law, which is one of these kind of weird myths that it's never really been the case in the UK, and it's like the whole Muslim no-go areas thing. It's just fucking made up, that bit, and yet at the same time they have proven to be funded by Russian fucking interests who are committing asymmetrical warfare on the UK and have been for like 20 years, and they don't seem to be worried about that. There's people actively poisoning British nationals in the UK. They're chucking USB sticks around. They're doing massive online campaigns to spread disinformation. And it's they're at war with a European partner, and no one says shit about that.
No, they literally tried to blow up fucking planes, like cargo
starting
planes,
fires at airports.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Farage will openly say like the political leader he admires most is Vladimir Putin, right? And no one no one gives a fuck. Yeah, no one says shit to him. Like, and if they do, he just shuts it down, and just moves on. Like, it's bonkers.
Wild. Speaking of memory, this lovely story that sort of when you watch like a documentary about someone who's like murdered somebody, there's that
lovely story, is it?
A lovely story. No, but like when like people murder people and they get interviewed, and you're like, oh, as this case goes on, you sort of see people, the murderer or proposed murderer getting interviewed, and you're like, oh, I'm so glad I haven't murdered anyone. Do you know what I mean? I'm so glad I don't have that on my fucking conscience and that on my shoulders, and knowing that the net is closing in. In 1995, a Dutch television repairman, this should have been their first clue, Jan Sloot, claimed that he had cracked something impossible. Sloot, no, double O. Jan Sloot. Right up the again, Sloot. Claimed he had cracked something impossible, a way to store an entire feature film in a single kilobyte of data. Are you familiar with how big a kilobyte of data is?
Yeah.
It's like it's a paragraph of writing, if that. And he basically called the Sloot digital coding system. And he said that he could, put an entire feature film inside a kilobyte of data. Sloot demonstrated it, apparently recording and replaying movies off a small smart card. And he convinced serious money to back him because, the city's always willing to throw money at absolute, nonsense, absolute snake oil. There was like a former Philips CTO who got involved, Silicon Valley venture capitalists as well. And then on July the 11th, 1999, one day before the deal was to be signed, Sloot was found dead in his garden of a heart attack. A compiler stored on a floppy disk, which was the key piece, had vanished and it was never recovered.
What happened?
The engineers later examined the rig that he was using, and he discovered that smart card player just actually had a hard drive in it. So he'd faked the whole demonstration.
Was the heart
just
attack
to give him
an actual heart attack? There, it wasn't like a conspiracy.
I feel like it sound. Look, I don't know. It didn't seem like there was any kind of dodgy dealings going on, but it just makes me sort of think that he was just probably so stressed out. He genuinely thought he could get there, and the hard drive was just buying him some time. But it's always there was like a solid state battery that everyone was getting very excited about this year. I think a Swedish company. I think we're heading it up. And pretty much anybody who was anybody, there's loads of money, a lot of interested parties about this kind of amazing battery that could, allow you to charge your car in like 30 seconds and it would last twice as long as your usual car battery and stuff. All that shite. It always happens. And then, completely against every sort of physical kind of rule or law out there that this battery could supply so much energy so quickly and easily and be recharged so softly, and it just turned out that the guy was just a bit of a joker, really. just he was like a television repairman, basically. He was just one of those kind of like Dragon's Den kind of dreamers.
Yeah, just
not
wants
really.
Friends, just wants his dad to give him a hug.
Just wants friends.
Yeah.
I just think we should get involved in that caper, really. You can be the talking man. I can look like a nerd, and we just sound like we know what we're fucking doing.
Oh, you'd make me like that Elizabeth Holmes Theranos thing.
Yeah, make a bit of money. Don't make like billions. Just make a couple of mil. Disappear it in the fucking ether. Lovely old job.
Yeah. What would you go into? What would be your outrageous scientific claim?
I don't know. Hotter water. It's like, you like a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Milk allowing. You like a cup of tea, but it's like it's we've managed to make water stay liquefied at like 300 degrees or something. It's hotter.
Yeah, but you're going to have to show that, aren't you? It needs to be more complicated.
Yeah,
otherwise people want to see through it.
It's
like saying I've got a new colour.
We show
it. A new colour.
We just get a dodgy temperature gauge and go, look, 300. And we just rub all the numbers off, and when it gets to 100, it goes to 300. You go, look, see, 300. And we can be working really hard to do it. Someone will probably say that's cleverer than all of us, that you can actually get water in liquid form. Superheated water or some bollocks. That's usually how this sort of shit on the Look Show pans out.
Yeah,
but
we'll
that's.
But what about one of the things that I think would be particularly interesting would be trying some kind of outrageous claim about like unlimited energy, like a room temperature superconductor or something. That'd be good.
Well, a lot of like a piezo kind of. Is it not a piezo motor? Is it? It's a piezo refrigerator or something. They're like very low energy refrigerators. You see them in like mini can fridges, promotional can fridges that hold like one can of Sprite, and they're not like proper refrigerants. They haven't got any refrigerant in them. They're all just like you just run a current through something and it makes it cold. It's not very good. So basically, a bigger one of that. And just say, yeah, this makes it this ultimate energy refrigerator.
The room temperature superconductor thing has been shown to be theoretically possible, I think at a very small scale. I was just reading about it there.
Right.
Apparently there's a thing called a superhydride, which can show superconductivity near room temperature, but it's only been shown to be able to do so inside diamond anvil cells. at very, very tiny quantities. But
Right,
do you remember Dr. Michael Brooks, who we used to do Eureka with?
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Great guy, brilliant scientist as well. He's written so many good books. He's a good lad. He was saying that like when he did his PhD, qualification, his final project, like thesis or whatever, he was doing something around that, and he said that, and he was awarded his PhD. I can't remember specifically what he did. I'd have to ask him because I can't remember. But he said that one of the great things about doing the experimentation was that they did it inside this center somewhere, this vacuum fucking thing in this lab. And he said that at the time they did the specific experiment, the inside of the little fucking thing was the coldest place in the known universe.
Right. Okay. Wow.
Isn't that cool? Literally.
What would you do if you climbed?
I don't think you get in it. I think it had to be like sealed and be a vacuum, small. And had to stand quite far away from it.
Right.
But he's like I
don't like the sound of that stuff because I feel like it. I realise these lads have probably thought about it, but I just always feel like something could crack. Just end it all. Just end the entire universe, and you're like, oh, well done, dickheads, pissing about with stuff you don't really understand. It was
quantum physics. His PhD was, and I've just checked. He's got a brilliant book called 13 Things That Don't Make Sense, one of my favourite science books. But it was published in 2009, and now like 8 of them do make sense. He was saying that nice. 8 of them have been sorted out now, so it's definitely
love that. Well, that's exactly what it should be. That's exactly what science should be. You should be excited by the fact that you get proven wrong instead of being a toxic fucking dickhead and just like, no, actually, giants are real. They do live in the Afghan mountains, actually.
Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson's quite good on that. I know he's been pulled up for some questionable behaviours, but like he as a scientist, he goes and debates people all the time, and because he's so clever and because he knows so much about the science behind stuff, he just sits there and very calmly and casually goes, yeah, that's bollocks though. I mean, that's not true. And here's why it's not true. Like he did it brilliantly with Logan Paul, who I mean, this is a measure of how stupid some people are. Logan Paul has Neil deGrasse Tyson on his podcast. And the first thing he says is something like, yeah, I don't believe in the moon landings. Prove to me that it happened. And it's like, Neil, that's not the most low-hanging fruit for like Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's like, there's about 15 reasons that it definitely happened, and here's the proof. And at the end, Logan Paul just goes, yeah, I suppose so then, yeah. It's like, great.
Yeah, they're not massively wedded, like a lot.
They've got no convictions, have they?
No. They're just like, give me some more money, please. I would say that on the product thing, I reckon just making something well is actually quite a revolutionary product these days. You know, like how products, good products that have that are from companies that have real prestige and real history, and they're brand names that people trust. They're kind of like the name almost becomes the product eventually, and the pan is like a cost to be managed. It's like kind of like the
like Rolex,
the thing that you're. Well, it's just like I use the example of pan, like. Cookware's getting worse and worse every year. Like everything's getting thinner. They're trying to sort of just like carve out as much metal and still have the same, name on the front of the thing. And it's just like everything is just getting worse and worse and worse. And if you just started from the start and went, I've just made a lovely pan or a bowl, and go, this is a nice bowl. I think people just flock to it because you're like just making it nice.
But what about you're going to take on the Le Creuset? Are you? You're going to take him on?
I'm taking on I'm going to take on the Le Creuset. I imagine if you compared a Le Creuset one from like the 70s or the 60s, I presume it's been going quite a while.
Well, you reckon it's a bit worse quality now?
I reckon so. They've got to be, haven't they? They've got to, everyone cuts their cloth accordingly.
I reckon they probably make a real virtue of being like, this is still the shit.
You reckon?
I think a lot of brands do that. Like a lot of brands do. Yeah, it's like the old kind of the old Stella Artois reassuringly expensive type chat, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, that's kind of their brand.
That's how they position.
Do you think? Yeah. Why don't we come up with asbestos too? Like a better kind of asbestos.
Call it something else though. Don't mention asbestos in the marketing material.
Fabsbestos.
It's
fabulous.
Is it that asbestos is actually fine unless you break it apart? Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, but imagine like all those people like because you mine it, don't you? It comes out of the ground. Imagine like happening upon some asbestos in the ground. You'd be like, what the fuck? Why is it so crystalline? Why is it so strange? You'd have to go quite deep down, I suppose.
My great uncle died of asbestosis.
Wild.
He was a shop fitter, and he got caught up with him. Very terrible. It's a terrible way to go. That.
Yeah, absolutely awful.
I mean, you'll get a little flavour of it because of your severe asthma that's getting worse and worse. But
yeah, exactly. Not being able to fucking breathe.
Have you checked that you've got asbestosis?
Well,
Were you a miner as a child?
No, I knocked my big wall down, but I did wear a mask, so I think we're all right. I didn't wear a mask quite as diligently when I knocked down the old Stack studio, so my writ will be appearing.
Oh man, as I said at the time, I've never seen someone so excited at the prospect of doing that.
Yeah,
it took loads longer than you thought, but you loved it.
Every moment. If anybody out there wants something knocking down, not tidying up. I'm not tidying up.
No, I'm not doing that bit after.
Not doing that bit afterwards.
You said it would take you about 40 minutes to take that studio down. I think it took you all day, didn't it?
No, it took me 2 days. I said it would take an afternoon. But it turns out they'd made it quite nice.
Did you bring your own sledgy?
I didn't even have a sledgy at that point. I just had I had a couple of cutting bits of I had a reciprocating saw, I think.
It was great seeing you do it. It was just great seeing you do it. It was like watching a fat person eat.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely top class it was. Oh, man, take me back. What a summer. Was it 2 summers ago? It was 2 summers ago.
No, it was last August.
Was it last August?
Yeah.
Christ on a bike.
Yeah, we went to the new studio last August.
It's such a long time ago since I've knocked down a studio. Oh, so sad.
What a great thing.
Sad.
What a great thing. Listen, Pete, before we go, we should probably do an email. We've got a couple. We haven't done it for a while.
Lovely. Let's do it.
What have we got here? Let me find one. It is... Oh, so this is from Mark about that you taking your neighbour's child to prom in the Toyota Century.
Right. Yeah, okay, nice.
Yeah, remember that? Mark, hello to you, Mark. He says, my own trip to the prom, I went in the back of my dad's van.
Oh, lovely.
Many people going to the prom got into Hummers, limos, etc., but not for me and 7 of my friends. We got in the back of my dad's Transit with the words boys limo painted in pink on a sheet of paper onto the side, photo attached. It's got a couple of hearts on it as well. And to top it off, on the day of the prom, my dad and his work friend found some red carpet in a skip at a site they were working at and rolled that out for us on our arrival at the prom. It was well received by the teachers, some saying it was the best entrance they had ever seen.
Honestly, it's just, you're never going to remember a fucking Hummer. You're never going to remember a generic fucking, a Bentley. But you will remember a bloke who's taped with masking tape the words boys limo on the side of a dirty old work van. A big fan of that. Just good stuff.
I think it looks great. I'd love to have seen the lads.
Fantastic.
The lads standing outside it with their terrible outfits on. That would be good. I didn't go to my school prom because I was on holiday. My parents had booked a family holiday. I think they were quite mortified when they realised. And I was like, a bit gutted not to go, to be honest. But I didn't have a girlfriend or anything, so I didn't really care.
No. Well, isn't it just kind of like a normal kind of like school party where the boys stand in one area and the girls stand in another?
I think so.
And never the
I was actually thinking of how bad I was with members of the fairer sex as a teenager. And in my last year of school, so GCSEs, so I would have been 15, nearly 16. Yeah. There was a girl I used to hang out with all the time called Emma. Really nice girl. Yeah. And there was this, basically I probably quite liked her, but I was too scared to tell her. And she was like, looking back on it now, she was dropping hints, right? I found a letter from her where she wrote in it, why do you fancy all these other girls and don't fancy me? And then I also, then what happened was I was round her house and we were just hanging out and a couple of her other friends were coming around and but they were just a bit late or whatever. And she said to me, why don't we pretend we're boyfriend and girlfriend just to mess around with them? And I was like, I'm not doing that. And it was only like years later I realised that she was probably quite into me, but I didn't know.
Well, what a lovely romantic story to finish the podcast.
Unrequited.
Yeah. Well, some children who might be listening to this podcast inexplicably in the back of someone's car. That sounded like a kidnapping. Didn't mean to be. In their parents'
what
car.
What a romantic story! That's your idea of a romantic story.
What a romantic story! That is a romantic story, but I think you should sort of give people who are in some kind of like Jack and Diane will they won't they kind of situation, you should give people advice about how to get over it, I suppose, and how to deal with it.
Yeah, because I've lived it in such a terrible way myself.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a good idea. I'm up for that.
Get involved.
I'll help out.
Go in with 2 feet.
I always thought we should do agony uncle sections on this show because I think people would benefit from it and we'd have a bloody good time doing it. We've seen a lot. We've made a lot of mistakes. We've done a lot. We could help people out. And we could also give, I think, genuinely quite helpful advice to particularly young men who are desperate for good, solid male role models. Not a Stephen Bartlett, not a Joe Rogan, not an Andrew Tate, So there you go.
The asbestos there. of the male.
Yeah, we're perfectly safe as long as you don't break us into tiny parts.
All right then, guys, we'll be back on Thursday for more of this. Get your emails in if you've got a problem that only we can solve. hello@lukepeatshow.com is the way to do that. You can also get in touch via the YouTube as well. We'll
see you later.
See you later. Alligator. Crocodile.